Pearl Standard believes that today's currency is nothing but a bizarre fictional story, merely a narrative on keyboards, with almost no connection to tangible goods. A sneeze on Wall Street can shake the entire globe, yet it started as a mere wall in a Dutch colonial settlement, later paved into a small road. However, this 500-meter-long road now affects every nerve of the global economy and society. The tentacles of Wall Street have woven a web of finance that covers nearly all of humanity. The thousands of financial institutions gathered within a square kilometer on Wall Street control the life and death of countless companies worldwide, directly or indirectly affecting the daily lives of billions of ordinary people. Wall Street has transformed the space of human existence into a financial planet. During the era of the commercial revolution, the Dutch, as the main force of maritime navigation, dreamed of opening even further commercial routes. They ingeniously invented the joint stock company model, where risks and investments were shared collectively, pooling the financial resources needed for long voyages, and founded the world's first joint stock company, the Dutch East India Company. Over 200 years, the Dutch East India Company undertook over 5,000 long-distance voyages, bringing back over 2.5 million tons of goods from Asia to Europe. In that era, without steam-powered vessels or massive cargo ships, 2.5 million tons of goods were an astronomical figure. Apart from the joint stock model, the establishment of the world's first bank in Amsterdam also played a crucial role in financing and lending. Objectively speaking, the core concern of the Amsterdam joint stock companies and banks was to exploit differences in geographical information demand, profiting from the price differences in long-distance trade. Dutch navigator Henry Hudson originally sought to open trade routes with the Qing dynasty, but by chance, his fleet ended up on Manhattan Island. Consequently, Amsterdam's model was immediately replicated to expand the commercial territory in North America through long-distance trade. The battles for dominance in the English-Dutch maritime routes and the American Revolutionary War were tumultuous, and it was the bankrupt United States that eventually emerged victorious. With debts amounting to tens of millions, the U.S. government at its inception was driven by the desire to use borrowed money to strengthen itself. Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury of the United States, who had the qualifications to lie in the graveyard on Wall Street for centuries, once said that playing with debt was a good way, as debt was a blessing for the United States. Only by understanding the historical changes and cultural genes of Wall Street can we truly understand the origin of the rampant financial diseases plaguing Wall Street today. Undeniably, without Wall Street, there would be no Erie Canal, the vital transportation artery connecting the eastern and western United States, nor the railways and highways crisscrossing the vast American territory. A New York State governor facing dead ends everywhere, without Wall Street issuing engineering bonds for financing, his dream of opening up the Great Lakes would remain just a daydream. However, starting from the revolving door plan of the founding father and first Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, Wall Street and the interest groups in the United States became addicted to manipulating bonds, debts, and creditors, as if playing a game of passing the buck. The United States started its nationhood with over $60 million in debt, which had ballooned to over $10 trillion by the 2008 financial crisis and has now far exceeded $30 trillion. In collusion with interest groups, whether overtly or covertly, Wall Street has long become, as former U.S. President Andrew Jackson put it, a great cesspool of human nature. Wall Street ignited people's greedy desires for wealth, abandoning the model of using money to produce and trade goods to generate more money. Instead, it created a ludicrous and tragic miracle where money could directly generate more money, or even create money out of thin air without any need for goods. Under the modern financial system, the reserve requirement system of banks is far from something that central banks can control to regulate the currency supply in society. The deposit currency mechanism of commercial banks has created a currency supply manifested in loans, which is hundreds or even thousands of times greater. For the financially hegemonic United States, the amount of debt is just a digital display on the printing press, not to mention Wall Street's manipulation of global currency exchange rates. The financial institutions on Wall Street, especially the shadow banks, are using unquantifiable leverage and a variety of financial derivatives to create one Ponzi scheme after another. Pearl Standard believes that on Wall Street, currency has long lost its connection to goods. The various forms of currency that appear in the world, even God cannot count. Behind these currencies lies the endless greed of human nature. Even Lehman Brothers, once known as the Phoenix of Wall Street, ended its 158-year life in this game of monetary greed. Pearl Standard believes that the red and white diseases of Wall Street have afflicted every corner of the world. The financial storm marked by the collapse of Lehman Brothers and over 300 banks swept from Wall Street to the whole world, leading to millions of people losing their jobs and affecting the daily lives of billions.